here we are. My topic for today is when Black and Indigenous people of color communities are harmed by the systems designed to serve and protect them. So learning objectives for this session is we're going to examine what does it mean to live the experience. If many of you have watched the news over the last 90 days, I would say somewhere starting in December or so, you have seen a lot of talk about the experience that I had with the City of Chicago Police Department. So we're going to talk about what it means to live that experience, being harmed by the system that is supposed to serve and protect you. And then we'll also talk a little bit about awareness and what it means to understand the trauma that Black and Brown communities experience. And we'll do just a little bit of data, not too much. For me, data is not all that fun. I'm not a research person. So just a little bit of data, but I really want today just to be a conversation with us. And then lastly, we'll talk about action steps. What can you do to help this process? What can you do to make a difference? So let's start with what does it mean to live the experience? So in February 21st, 2019, I myself have a lived experience under my belt as it relates to having a negative, hateful experience with the Chicago Police Department. I don't like to use the word hate, but a part of me tells me that there is some hate somewhere along the way in this process. But however, so on February 21st, 2019, I had an experience where the Chicago Police Department raid team entered my home. They raided my home with the intent of finding drugs and guns. The short story is they had the wrong place. And so they had the wrong apartment. The person that they was looking for actually, I found out later, lived down the street from me, but not someone that I actually knew. And with that experience, there was so much about that experience that tells me that the police department has a lot of work to do as it relates to how they interact with people of color. So with that incident, there were 12 white men who, kicked down my door, entered my home with assault rifles, long, big guns with scopes, and was yelling at me. There were a lot of chaos. They were yelling at me. And at the time that they entered my home, I had recently gotten home from work and was fully undressed. So I was completely naked at the time that they came into my home. And so from that point, that's where, for me, everything went completely wrong. They yelled at me to put my hands up. They handcuffed me while I was naked. And throughout that process, which lasted with me standing there with no clothes on for about 20, 30 minutes, they didn't hear or see me. So a key part to that for me was invisibility. They didn't see me as a person. They didn't see me as a woman. They didn't see me as someone who was deserving of what their role says around protect and serve the community. Our tax dollars that pays for them to go out every day and put on that uniform and that badge and protect and serve the community. And so throughout that experience, I'm yelling, I'm crying, I'm begging and pleading, you have the wrong place, please allow me to put some clothes on. I don't understand what's going on. There were times where I asked them, like, can you please tell me what's going on? So they never told me what they were doing or who they was looking for until the end of what they call completing their search of my home.